Brought you some brain food.
Don't need it. Got any cool, popular, socially well-adjusted food?
Sorry, ate all that.
What a funny dad.
Who's in it for like 2 minutes?
Hey, he was in it longer than Mom.
Dad.
Where's Mom?
Hey, Val.
Hey, Al.
Welcome to D Commentaries.
Welcome to you and welcome to our listeners. Today, we're talking about genius.
Ooh.
Are you a genius?
No.
That was a rhetorical question.
Oh, okay.
Also, we need to work on this. You are a genius.
I'm sorry. I'm a genius.
Oh my God.
I wanted to say really quick, Val, before you do the synopsis, that I'm not about to start another game.
Okay.
I wanted to say that for those of you who think you haven't seen this movie, there's a really good chance you probably have. You just don't remember because the name is not very memorable.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I definitely saw this movie lots of times when I was younger.
Yeah, I did not. I looked at the characters. I looked at the synopsis. I didn't remember anything about it. And then there were certain scenes where I was like, yep, I have definitely seen this.
Yeah, this is one that I totally forgot about until I opened it to watch it. And then I was like, oh my God, I've seen this a million times.
Yeah, for sure. All right, you can tell us the synopsis now, Val.
Yeah, so Genius came out August 21st, 1999. So we're continuing the once a month releases. It was directed by Rod Daniel, who also directed Alley Cat Strike.
Oh.
The Alley Cat Strike was the only other DCOM he directed, but he did also direct Teen Wolf, K9, and Beethoven's Second.
Cool.
Yeah. And fun fact about K9, it's a movie that is very, very similar in concept to Turner and Hooch, which I think is much more well known. But it's with Jim Belushi and the person who wrote K9, Scott Myers, was my screenwriting professor in grad school.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So kind of a weird small world-ish thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, Genius was written by 3 people. Well, the story was written by John Reek. Yeah, we'll go with Reek. Who this was literally his only credit on IMDb.
Oh.
And then
He said one and done.
Yep. And then the teleplay was by Jim Lincoln and Dan Studney. And neither of them really had
much else.
Yeah, neither of them had much of a resume either. So I'm not sure what happened here. But yeah. So
they were like, we just made the greatest movie of all time. We're retiring.
We're done. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely what happened for sure.
Nice.
The cast is pretty big again. So we've got Trevor Morgan as Charlie Boyle / Chaz Anthony. You might know him also from The Patriot, which is what I also knew him from. Emmy Rossum. Ooh. Yeah. Someone you might recognize from Shameless. She's playing Claire Addison.
I know Emmy Rossum from the Phantom of the Opera movie.
Yep. I was just going to say that was the other big thing that she's known for. Charles Fleischer as Dr. Krickstein. Is it Krickstein or Krickstein?
Ooh.
I already forgot.
I wrote down the complete wrong name, so I'm going to later say the wrong name.
Perfect. Yannick Bisson as Mike McGregor. We got he's French Canadian playing an Irish guy.
He's big in Canada.
Yes. So I'm gonna finish the cast and then I'm gonna talk about a weird conspiracy that I've stumbled upon.
Great.
So we have Peter Callahan as Dean Wallace, Philip Granger as Coach Addison, who's also Claire's dad, and Jonathan Whitaker as Charlie's dad. It's literally credited as Dad Boyle.
Yep. He doesn't have a first name.
Which is just
incredible.
Okay. So 3 of the people that I just listed, as well as another person who's a smaller part, at least 4 people in this cast are on a show called Murdoch Mysteries, on which the guy who plays Mike is the lead. He plays like Inspector Murdoch in this show. Like, I would not be surprised if almost everybody in this movie was in an episode. Like, it feels like it's like Law and Order, but for Canada.
Yeah. And I wonder if this is how they met.
Maybe. It just
or
feels
are they
like
all just Canadian human people?
So like this was filmed, I looked it up. This was filmed in Ontario. So it feels like it is literally like if something was filmed in New York and all the actors were like stage actors in New York, which is exactly what Law and Order does.
Okay.
So it feels like that. It's just this really random thing, but I looked at so many IMDb's where I saw Murdoch Mysteries. I was like, it's a conspiracy.
I think we have to watch it.
Definitely. I love shows like that, so I'd probably really enjoy it.
I love murder books. Murder mystery books.
Well, you might like it too.
No, I didn't really mean like murder books. Like,
I know what you meant.
Okay.
Have you ever seen any like British crime shows like Broadchurch?
No.
Okay. So I
so.
have a feeling that this is sort of like that.
Or like a Sherlock Holmes, but a more modern?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Well, actually, I'm not sure if it's modern because Murdoch has been around for a really long time, the character.
Okay.
So I think this might be like young Murdoch. So it might actually be old. I'm not sure.
Young, old, hot Murdoch.
Hot. Yeah, he is pretty hot. I will say.
I feel like that's becoming my entire personality on here, Val.
Who you think is hot?
Yeah. I'm not mad at it. I just wanted to point it out.
Specifically dads in most cases.
Okay, well, I am an older woman now than I was when these first came out.
An older woman. Do you know who you're talking to?
My young lady friend, Val.
I'm a young lady.
And I'm an old woman.
I look really young and really ladylike right now, so it's a perfect description. Mm-hmm. Anyway, the synopsis is another novel.
Oh, God.
Here we go. Charlie's a child prodigy who's been offered lots of scholarships, but chosen a little-known one to work with a scientist he admires. Wow, that sentence is terrible. The work is fascinating, but his social life stinks. Trying to get something like a normal life, he also enrolls at a local school and pretends to be an average student. He's cool for the first time, but attending school and college at the same time is tricky, and soon someone is bound to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not a terrible synopsis, it's just long, and that first sentence is weird to me. Anyway, Al, what were your first impressions?
Yeah, first impressions. As I kind of already mentioned, I didn't think that I had seen this movie. And after further inspection, I definitely have. I thought it was a fine movie. It was very fast, very quick movie. It was only an hour and 25 minutes. So it's kind of a fun movie to have on in the background. And overall, I'm going to give it a 7.5, 7.5 out of 10. I really thought it was cute. I thought that this was a good length where, like, watching Johnny Tsunami drink last week felt long. It just felt like it was dragged out, where this kind of kept moving the whole time to me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that Johnny Tsunami had like 4 resolutions.
Yeah.
And this movie just had like it was
your
very
basic
textbook
plot structure.
Yeah, exactly. It was like the perfect like hero's journey. So it definitely went faster for that reason. Definitely. Like I remember watching it when I was younger and liking it a lot, and I still enjoyed it now.
There are some really funny parts in it.
Yeah, I agree. I think that both Trevor Morgan and Emmy Rossum have a lot of personality and are very compelling to watch. He's very funny and he's very cute. So it's like a nice combination, you know, he's good at playing the earnest moments, but he's also really good at playing like the physical comedy and like being silly. And the adults are pretty entertaining as well in this movie. Like the dean is so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then his like scientist adult friend is great.
Yeah.
So and then of course like the hockey players are all kind of,
Doy.
yeah, like cliche hockey players in a movie like this. But I didn't want anything more than that. They were great. They were fun to watch. So I enjoyed it as well. Did any quotes stand out for you?
Yeah, I had a few. Once again, I feel like I'm taking less and less notes because I'm really honing in on the movies recently.
Mm-hmm.
No, but I feel like we're in this weird phase of some of the writing isn't so great. So some of the lines are, I don't know, not my favorite. But I don't know if this is a quote or if this is something that I thought of on my own, because usually I put quotes in quotes. But the very first note that I have is, can't Zamboni with a bad backbony.
Yeah, that is a quote.
Okay, cool. I was like, that is something I would write.
Yeah, his dad, he says it kind of like, can't Zamboni with a bad back, bony. Like he added, like it was a very dad joke-esque.
I thought all the other reindeer don't like my big red shiny nose was a fun comparison of him saying why no one really wants to hang out with him. And then I love the snow. Back in Chicago, it always ends up dirty. That was cute.
And he like the rest of that line is something, where is it? I wrote it down. Back in Chicago, it always ends up dirty, like the mean streets.
Oh, yeah. I purposefully did not include that when I was writing it down.
The mean streets
of Chicago.
Any other quotes?
I mean, towards the end, I don't think this spoils anything, but you could solve all the mysteries in the world, but what does it mean without friends?
Yeah.
And I thought that was really pretty. Man, DCOMs kind of hits you in the heart sometimes.
I know.
Because I could solve all of the Murdoch mysteries in the world, but what does it mean without my pal Val?
Oh. Well, it wouldn't be anything without my pal Al.
Okay, well, that's a pity answer because I just said that. So
what?
That's you. I said it first. Then you came in here and you said,
I said something nice, and you get shitty with me?
We're learning how to take compliments.
Wow. Last time I say anything nice to you.
Oh, good. I like where this is going. Oh, that makes both of us. We're not saying anything nice about me.
No. Ugh.
I'm just kidding, Val. I love you.
I love you. I really do.
I really do. We're such a great pair.
Okay. So I don't really have a ton of quotes either, especially from like earlier in the movie, but I wrote down a couple insults.
I love this.
The very first thing he's called is cranium crud, which I think is the lamest insult ever. Just because it's alliteration doesn't mean it's good. But then later he gets called Pintstein. I think Mike calls him that.
That's really funny.
That's a good insult. That's a good insult.
Because listeners, he's an 8th grade child, and so he's literally like 5'1".
Yeah, he's tiny. He's probably not even 5 feet.
Yeah, he could be like 4'11".
Yeah, he's really little. And and he's in college.
I'm kind of good with quotes if we want to move on to the city.
Yeah, the only other quote I wrote down, I don't think this is a spoiler, but he says, dude, those are our Rumson fans. Turns out they only respond to negative reinforcement.
Yes. That was really funny.
I thought that was very, very funny.
And then they were like doing better when you booed them.
Yep. That's so funny. Okay, I think that's it. I really didn't write very many quotes either.
All right. Well, Val, strap on your skates, grab a textbook, and rip off that top because our tops are off and we're skating right into Spoiler City, baby.
My hockey jersey is on the ice.
Woo! All right. Lights up on a middle school student who has found out that he is going to college. He is a very smart guy. He doesn't have a lot of friends. He's in 8th grade. He's also pretty sporty, likes to play hockey. And he finds out that he got into a bunch of colleges, including like Harvard and Yale and MIT and Mississippi State University. And that's where I went to college. You know, if he had applied, he would have gotten in, okay?
Yeah, that's true.
In the lieu of finding out with his dad that he had gotten into college, mind you, 5 years early, he ends up choosing Northern Wisconsin University because of a famous scientist that works there that is developing this really cool science thing called the
Gravitron.
Gravitron. Okay, so then he goes to college, he moves in, he's got how does he get to the hockey rink where they all hate him?
The lab is below the hockey rink. That's part of why he picks the college.
Right. And so he goes to this college that has the computer lab with the Gravitron is underneath the hockey rink because he loves hockey and he loves science. So he goes to the hockey rink and all of the guys are making fun of him because he's small. And the dean is introducing him saying, hey, this is, you know, the new guy on campus who is also a professor. And so he is a student on top of teaching a class. And then he goes to find his dorm, and then it's the mean hockey guy. Mike is his roommate. And mind you, these dorm rooms are very large and very weird because they have sliding doors. It was
and
weird.
They have pianos?
Yeah, I don't know. Like a full-size couch? I don't. Okay, so then he ends up going to teach his first class. His shitty roommate, Mike, is also in this class, which is where we have the quote that Val said, which was...
I don't think I actually said it on the recording.
Oh, Val, tell us your quote.
He says, hello, I'm Charlie, and I will be teaching this class. And then his roommate says, hello, I'm Mike, and I will be disrupting it.
Oh, we loved that line. Great. And so then he ends up going to... Where does he find the girl? Wow, my notes were really bad this time. Oh my God. I took notes and they're not good notes. All I have was
okay.
He goes to college to teach and be a student. He finds a girl. And that's my first two notes.
Okay. So I'll just fill in a couple things real quick. The hockey team hates him because they were hoping the lab would be shut down. But the only reason the lab wasn't shut down was because they got Charlie to come to college. So they're mad at him right out of the gate because of that. Then he goes to the rink again because he wants to go work out and skate when no one's there. And he sees this beautiful girl who happens to be his age doing cool figure skating on the ice. And it turns out that she is the hockey coach's daughter. And the hockey coach obviously also hates him because of the same reason that the hockey team hates him.
Right. And that's how he meets this girl who's also his age. But he doesn't tell her that his name is Charlie Boyle. And he tells her that his name is Chaz. And that he also is going to go to her school. So now he's playing this double life of college student Charlie and middle school student Chaz. And he pretends to be like the bad boy of the school because someone had given him advice of do like the opposite. Like if your hypothesis isn't or if your
oh yeah, so his colleague, the guy who runs the lab that he works in, says Krickstein or whatever. Yeah, he says a good scientist doesn't repeat the same experiment over and over again expecting to get different results.
Yeah. So he's like completely changing his personality because he was so used to getting turned away from girls, not having friends, all of these things. So he ends up being the bad boy in the school, and she actually kind of does like him. Like he has this sense of confidence about him that he's never had that ends up being really like attractive, not in the like attractive sense, but also in like he has a group of friends now and people think he's really cool and really funny and really fun. And then since he was being so bad and they were talking about how there was this really young college student at the local college, his science teacher in middle school said, hey, let's do a field trip and go visit the college campus. And he's like, oh no, how am I going to be two people? And so they went to the science class, which Val, I thought it was so funny that he's like, okay, well, we're going to go on a field trip right now. Bell rings.
I thought the exact same thing. I was like,
no one signed a permission slip.
No bus, nothing. They just get, and then like Chaz is totally cool to just get himself there. Like,
right.
He's 14 years old.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
silly. So they end up getting to the college campus where Dr. Klickenstein, Kirkstein, is there, and he's like kind of playing coy while Charlie is trying to disguise himself. So he disguises himself by coloring his skin purple and wrapping up one of his legs like a bandage as if he had been injured, and then wheels himself out in a wheelchair so that no one from his class recognizes him. He then is like, "Hi, I'm Charlie Boyle, and I'm really smart, but I'm not feeling good, so I'm gonna go away." And then he rolls back. And so if you've ever seen this movie, this is the part you're gonna remember. Like, you're gonna remember him rolling out in a wheelchair completely purple.
It made me think of that sunscreen. You remember that sunscreen when we were kids that was purple until it like dried? And it was like meant so that you knew where you put the sunscreen.
Yeah. Wow, that's a 90s item for sure. So then Charlie like pushes himself back off stage and then goes and runs to the bathroom to like take off the purple stuff from his face so that he can go be Chaz in the studio in the studio audience. And then his teacher is like, "Oh, well, you just missed him, but let's bring back Charlie." And so then him as Chaz has to run back off and kind of like do the whole process again, and it's just a whole mess. And then right after that, I have marked in my notes as an almost kiss. So I think that Chaz and Emmy Rossum are ice skating together and like kind of having this heart-to-heart moment, which was really cute. They almost kiss, and then something happens.
He gets a snowball. He does something really thoughtful. So there's like a kid who reminds him of himself, who's like waiting to go into the hockey game. Because at the very beginning of the movie, he's like waiting to play in a hockey game, and the kids won't let him play. And then he sees kind of a nerdy looking kid who wants to play, and he pretends like he's tired and lets the kid go in and play. And she sees that. And that, I think, is really what makes her kind of change her mind about him. Because up until that point, she kind of didn't she like made the joke that like he was going to work at McDonald's and he had no future and all that stuff. So that was the moment that was like the turnaround. And they almost kiss, and then someone throws a snowball. Yeah.
And then she invited him back to her house to just hang out. And then the dad comes home and he can't be seen as Chaz, so he kind of hides and then wears a goalie mask and then kind of runs out of the house. And then we find out that his crappy roommate, mean man, hockey man, Mike, kind of turned around, had a change of heart. He moved back into the room. He said, I can't be on the team if I'm not smart and I need tutoring. And so then they actually end up having this like really nice friendship there because he ends up teaching him and he ends up listening. Now we start to get towards the climax of the movie when he's working on the particle accelerator. Wrote it down. The gravitron is underneath the ice, mind you. And this is happening during a really big hockey game. Now, Charlie is on watch while Dr. Klickenstein is out doing something else. But then the hockey game's going on and he wants to go up and watch. And so he leaves the gravitron alone, which is not a good idea. So then of course, the gravitron did something bad, and it started to heat up, and then it kind of started to combust, and the heat from it started to crack the ice that was directly above the lab. And so it started cracking the ice, and so the game had to end, and everyone got mad at Charlie because the dad, if he didn't win the game, was going to get fired, and he needed to keep the job. And then all of his friends are mad, and everyone hates him because they figured out that Chaz was Charlie and Charlie was Chaz. And so everyone was mad at him, especially Emmy Rossum, who was really disappointed. And then he goes, it's one of those moments of like, I'm sucking it up. I know I was in the wrong. And he goes to the outdoor hockey rink and says, "Hey guys, I'm really sorry. I know what I did was wrong, but we really need your help to win this game. Otherwise, like, the dad's gonna lose his job. I really need help with this science thing." And I literally wrote team winning with the new science thing. Then they fix the ice. They're having the game again. and they really need to win. So what he does is, so everyone forgives him. Forgot to mention that part. And he
for like no
reason.
good reason.
No reason.
Yeah.
And so kind of like Space Jam, if you've ever seen Space Jam, when they put the like circle dots underneath, or is it Flubber?
I think it's
Flubber. Oh, so in Flubber, when he puts like the Flubber pieces underneath the shoes of the basketball players, it's kind of like that. So he puts these like circle things on the hockey skates of the opposing team because they found out that when they fixed the gravitron, that you can control other people by something that they had created.
They split it in half. And so they find that if one half moves, the other half has to move exactly the same way.
Right.
So they can use that to control, like basically remote control wherever the other half is.
Yes. So then they put the little stickers on the hockey skates so that they can manipulate them so that they can make sure that they win the game. So he's got Charlie is there with his 2 middle school best friends and Emmy Rossum. They're all helping like as a team. And Emmy Rossum and Charlie are kind of dancing around underneath the rink. And so the hockey players are dancing around on top of the rink. And it's very puppet mastery. I wrote Emmy and him do a do-si-do with 2 players and looks like it's going to win. The Dr. Klickenstein starts to help with the other chips, but he runs into the beam and something happens where everyone starts to fly. So now everyone's in the air.
But somehow they don't stop the game.
No, yes, truly. I wrote that down. I literally wrote that down. If someone were to start flying, I'd argue the game would end.
Right. Like if the game ended because the ice cracked, then the game would definitely
end. If 2 people are flying.
Yeah.
But then the Northern Lights, the team, they get to keep they win the game. Emmy's dad gets to keep her job. Emmy is proud of Charlie and they actual kiss.
In the air.
Everyone is happy. In the very end, it is the most decom score / electric guitar that makes you think of a decom in the entire world. And that's the story of Genius.
That's great.
Thanks. But sometimes notes help.
Yeah, I agree.
You'd think that I would have been doing this for the past 10 episodes. Hey, Val, this is our 10th episode.
Happy 10th anniversary.
Oh my God. We're so cool.
We're so cool.
It's great to be here with you.
It's great to be here with you. I'm so happy and proud. I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
Okay, let's keep going. I thought it was, kind of going back to the very beginning when we gave our first impressions, I thought it was a cute movie.
Yeah.
I think it's a cute little rewatch. There's a few parts where I wrote, like, I maybe in science class when he's in middle school, he kind of remote controls the skeleton. Definitely remember that happening. I definitely remember him being purple and being rolled out. I remember the ice breaking. Like, I remember this storyline. And I think for some reason, I thought that this storyline of, like, something happens under the ice and then there's the things happened in Mighty Ducks. Oh. And I haven't seen that in a long time. And I think just, like, as you get old, you kind of, like, mush things together.
Yeah, sure.
But
it definitely has a similar vibe.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I remembered actually quite a bit of this movie.
Nice.
Like, I remembered his relationship with Mike. I remembered his relationship with, like, Dr. Krickstein.
Yeah.
I remembered a weird amount of the science. What I actually didn't remember much at all is his relationship with Emmy Rossum.
I can't believe that I had no idea that it was her.
Yeah, I mean, obviously at the time when I was watching it, she wasn't, I mean, she was acting already, obviously, but she wasn't, like, famous yet. So, yeah, I liked this movie a lot when I watched it as a kid. I like it a little bit less now, only because I think I get too caught up in, like, what makes sense and what doesn't.
Yeah.
And I'm not even talking about the science. Like, obviously the science doesn't make any sense. I can set that aside. But, like, there's just so many things where it's not even the most ridiculous stuff. Like that scene where he puts the purple on his face. It's not stuff like that. It's like little things like how no one thinks it's weird that he's like running around or like hiding under benches or like holding up newspapers. And just like also like when the particle accelerator starts melting the ice, Charlie does not run to go turn it off. He just stays and watches the carnage. Like there's just stuff like that where I'm like, this is not how people would react in a real scenario. And like I can suspend. I've talked about this before, I think, with other movies that we've watched, but like I can suspend my belief if something is sort of earned. You know, like we talked a lot about this in Under Wraps and in Halloween Town too, where like obviously a lot of it's absurd, but you can take it because it sort of makes sense within the universe that it's in. This, I felt like because there were all these little things that didn't make sense just on a sort of rational level, it like it like made the other stuff even more ridiculous and like harder to
where
swallow.
The like why did they forgive him? It wasn't earned. And why did this happen? And why did they say this? Because this doesn't make any sense.
This is what he says that gets everybody who he's betrayed for the entire movie to turn around and forgive him. He says, "My name's not Chaz, it's Charlie. Charlie Boyle." That's it. Everyone whips around like he's had this incredible revelation, or I don't know, said, "I'm sorry."
Yeah.
Like it literally, it doesn't make any sense. So it's stuff like that. And like the fact that they didn't stop the hockey game when people were literally floating in the air, just, you know, those kinds of things. But I really liked the relationships between everybody in this movie.
Yeah.
I liked the dad-son relationship. I liked the scientist-Charlie relationship. I liked the Charlie and Emmy Rossum relationship. I thought literally all the relationships were strong and well acted, if not well written all the time. They were definitely like well acted. So I did appreciate that.
Yeah. Something else I wanted to point out too was at the very, I don't know if it was the very last game. I think it was the second to last hockey game. Emmy Rossum is sitting on the bench with the team. And I wrote quite literally, she would never be on the bench. Because why would you have your 13-year-old daughter on the bench of a very important college hockey game? That would not happen.
What I noticed about that was that she's during the hockey game, she's trying to tell her dad about her boyfriend.
That's the boy. And he's like, "Coaching, girl, what are you doing?" Yeah, no.
Actually, he doesn't. He's like trying to listen to her. I'm like, dude, do your job. What is wrong with you?
All right, Val, shall we move on?
Yeah, let's do some bingo bango.
Bingo, bango, bing. Bing. Wait, what the movie this year? Genius. Gingee. How do you spell genius? I before E, except after C. GIENUSGIE. Is that how you spell it?
GENIUS.
Oh, okay.
GENIUS. GENIUS.
Genius.
And we'll play Genius Bingo.
Bingo. Took us a while. Took us.
It's okay. You're still a genius in my eyes.
No. That was a callback. Thank you, Bill.
You are.
I'm a creative genius.
Yeah. Just because you couldn't spell genius doesn't mean you're not a genius.
Yeah, okay. I know how to say it. Genus. All right. This week, let's get started. As always, 10th episode. For those of you who have never seen our bingo board, someone did mention that they had never seen it to me. So for those of you who have not seen our bingo board, because you are not watching the movie, you're just listening to the podcast, and so you don't see to play along, that's okay. It looks like a bingo board, and then whenever we go down the line, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that's our bingo, and then we start in the second row and go down and across. So that's how our bingo board looks. You can also download the bingo board on our website, which is at thetridentnetwork.com/decommentaries-pod. You'll be able to download and play there. And then you can also find it on Instagram. It's one of our very first posts. And then you'll also see our whole feed where our past bingo boards for our past episodes. Awesome. So let's get started. In that top left corner, one hit wonder song.
There was a song.
Oh, what was it?
It's like I Would Do Anything for Your Love or something like that. I tried to look it up and basically couldn't find it, except for like someone literally filming their television
while it played
in a YouTube video. So I'm going to say it's safe to assume that that's a one-hit wonder.
All right, let's mark it.
Okay. Breaking the fourth wall or looking into the camera. I did not notice any.
Holiday themed. Nope. But there were 2 holiday themed jokes. The reindeer, and then there was another one that I forgot.
That's probably also because they were in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So it's like winter all the time. Clunky metaphor. I mean, I guess like being true to yourself. Yeah. Like, I mean, sure. Like, don't pretend to be someone you're not. I also think as a secondary point, pay attention to what's right in front of you. Like at one point, his colleague, the scientist, the guy who runs the lab, was like, you're not just my student, you're my friend, or something like that. And then he like immediately is like, I need to go apologize to my real friends. And I'm like, what? This guy loves you, right, and you're completely ignoring and devaluing that relationship. So I think there was definitely also an element of, and I mean, it also goes to like, stop pretending to be someone else, because like value your assets.
Yeah.
Like, and it's almost the same message as last week, where it's sort of like, if you are true to yourself, you'll be accepted for who you are. Like, I think that part of his issue at the beginning where people were being mean to him was because he himself was kind of like ashamed of who he was, right? If he was like more proud of himself, then I don't think he would have had such a problem with people.
I agree. Parents who just don't get it. I did mark it because there was something he said that was like, I didn't realize, I think when I marked it, that he was never coming back into the movie. He was only in it for 7 minutes. Very Anne Hathaway in Les Mis was this man. Not Oscar worthy, but like only in it for a very short amount of time. But he said something that just kind of like hit the...
Well, so I could definitely see it for like him literally not understanding sometimes what his son is saying, because like at the very, very beginning, the very first thing that happens is 2 times in a row, he's like, English. Yeah. Cause like Charlie starts talking about science and it doesn't make any sense.
See, but I think that's like, he did it in a really condescending way.
Right. And the first thing I wrote was, great, another shitty dad who doesn't appreciate his son. But then, and again, this could be like a writing thing or a directing thing, but like then in the next scene where where they decide where Charlie's going to go to college. But
even then, he doesn't really support his decision to go there. He's like,
oh, I think he does.
Well, yeah, but like half and half. He's like, you don't want to go to Harvard? It's Harvard.
Yeah, but then once Charlie is like, no, I want to do this, he's like, all right, if that's what you want, I support you fully. And then he even does his little like, Charlie's going to Northern, Charlie's going, he like does the whole like dance for him. So I thought that scene kind of changed my mind about him. Like it made me think that he's not a douche dad. He's a nice dad who does actually get his son and appreciate him.
Who's like a semi-douche sometimes.
Yeah, I think I think it was more like, it's when I think it's literally self-preservation when Charlie starts like talking about stuff that he doesn't understand. He's literally like it's sort of a shorthand, right? He's like, instead of saying like, hey, slow down, I don't understand what you're saying, he's just like English, because it's like they obviously know each other so well at this point that it's just sort of like shorthand for please explain in a way that I will understand. So if anything, it's almost like, I do get that you are so smart and I am not. And, I'm saying that out loud. I could go either way. Let's just say yes. Check it because he literally didn't understand the science.
Checked.
Okay. Cool non-parent adult.
Clickerstein.
Yeah. Yeah, Dr. Crickstein for sure. His pal.
Oh, yeah. Someone too famous for a TV movie.
Not at the time, no.
Nope.
No. Competition to resolve the central problem. I mean...
I only marked it. I did mark it, and I'm happy to take it back. But I only marked it because I think the resolution wouldn't have happened if the competition of the hockey game didn't exist. So it's not a competition where it's brink, but it is a kind of competition that helps resolve the central problem.
That's fair. I accept that.
Guys, I'm smart today. I know you're going to say you're smart every day. Oh, thanks, Val.
You are smart every day. I can't do any more positive affirmations. You have to do them for yourself.
We'll get there one day. A montage sequence. Yes.
Yep.
The almost
when
kissing.
He's turning into Chaz. Almost kissing.
Yeah, they have their whole hangout when she's like tutoring him.
Oh yeah, that is another. There's two.
Oh, I love a 2 montage movie.
Okay, cliche villains.
Once again, I marked yes because I feel like college roommate or like jock hockey player.
Yeah.
Happy to delete.
I don't know, because I really question like who the villain even is in this movie. Like, is the villain Mike?
God, he's his own villain.
Yeah, he kind of is. Like, is Chaz the villain?
Cliche, it's yourself. All right, next part.
I guess that is cliche. You're your own worst enemy.
Done. We marked it. Oh, that was good.
Oh my god.
That was good. Clothes or items that you owned.
I mean, I had almost the same phone that she has, like the corded phone in her bedroom that she keeps hanging up on him. I didn't have it in my bedroom. It was like one of our family.
I don't think it needed to be in your bedroom. I didn't really see anything for me this time, but I think we should mark it for the phone.
Okay. Rotten Tomatoes 40 to 60. This one is like so out of the ordinary. It could go either way for me. I feel like it's about sports and it's kind of funny. I'm going to say it's 55.
It is 48.
Oh,
so
okay.
we do get the box.
Yeah. And I wasn't as far off as I could have been, for sure. I'm always like within 10.
Yeah. We haven't had any that's like 95 and you guessed 14,
right.
You know?
right. I'm in the like general ballpark.
Yeah.
Usually. Cool. 48. That seems right.
Seems right. Happily Ever After.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Mid-air kiss.
Oh, yeah.
And then a hockey game with all your pals. Yeah. Almost kissing. Yes.
Almost kissing and real human kissing.
Yes. All the different kinds of kissing.
Someone who became famous.
Yes.
Amy Rossum.
Yes.
Think of me blindly when you say goodbye. Don't put that in because it's probably my thing is probably like.
No, it was great. I am making that face because I have to admit, Phantom of the Opera is one of my least favorite musicals.
Oh, no, Val. Friend of the pod, if you're listening, Bryce, I know you are. That was our movie growing up, and we watched it like once a month. And, you know, you're on the same side as my mom. My mom hates it. And I can see why people don't like it, but I absolutely love it.
Yeah. To me, it's kind of sad sack. And I'm just...
Oh, well, yeah. It's Andrew Lloyd Webber, right?
Yeah. Although, I mean, I like some Andrew Lloyd Webber, but...
Didn't he also write
that one
Cats?
Yeah, which I also hate.
I don't like Cats. Your childhood crush?
I mean, I thought he was very cute when I was that age.
I don't remember, but I think we should mark it because you think he's very cute. I think now Murdoch Mysteries Man could get it.
He's very hot. He was hot then, and he is still hot. Obviously, bad special effects or stunts. Oh,
we're soaring, flying around the hockey rink, and we can't control our bodies.
Yeah, there's a lot of like steaming. Like at one point I wrote in my notes, this looks like a ride.
Oh, yeah.
Like a lot of the science stuff looked like a ride, but then there was also like a lot of very, very low grade CGI. Yeah. Like there was the dancing skeleton.
I was like, this is they should have just hooked it up to some strings, you know?
Right. I agree. They like transition from a real skeleton all of a sudden to a like cartoon skeleton. It's very weird. And there were a couple other things that were exactly like when the ice cracks, it's also like fake. So there was just some weird things, moments like that.
Our next box is Eric Von Detten, Kirsten Storms, Ryan Merriman, Kimberly J. Brown, Eddie Lawrence brother. Not today.
Not today.
Not today. Not today. So.
Musical number.
Okay, but I have an argument.
Okay.
They said defying gravity about 5
I wrote
times.
That too.
Because the graviton is trying to get them to defy gravity.
This is the second time that this song has come up.
We don't have to mark it, but I did want to mention that they mentioned defy gravity 5 times.
Mm-hmm.
Very funny.
Yes.
Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Science is the real magic.
Science is the real magic, baby.
Baby.
Buy our shirt.
We have merch.
We have merch, and it's linked from our website now, so you can find it there.
TridentNetwork.com/dcommentaries-pod. All right, next box.
Someone says the title of the movie. Oh,
like
yes.
Every 4th word.
Mm-hmm.
Scooby Dude.
Yeah.
Oh,
because he.
Oh, he did solve it. He did solve it with his plan. Science.
Yeah, and they all kind of do it together with their headphones, blades and skates and operations base or whatever.
Oh yeah.
The heroes create the problem.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
Yeah. Don't leave that particle accelerator on, dude, or lie to all your friends. Yeah.
Just be
either one.
Be yourself. That's from Aladdin. Last but not least, our last box's lead is a fish out of water.
Yeah.
Yep. I was waiting for you to say it because I thought I was going to be wrong.
No. First of all, you're never wrong. It's just a difference of interpretation. Well, unless it's like, this song is a one-hit wonder when it's not.
Yeah. Okay. Some of us weren't obsessed with fastball. I get it.
But no, this is, he definitely is a fish out of water. He's both a fish out of water in college because he doesn't know how to do college. And then he's also a fish out of water in middle school because he doesn't know how to middle school either. He's just sort of like, doesn't fit.
All right, Val, as we maybe have previously mentioned, it is our 10th episode this week. And not on purpose, we have not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 bingos this week.
What? Wait.
We have 4 bingos.
I see the one at the bottom, but what else?
Bottom, up and down on the very left, so the B. Diagonal from magic all the way up to parents who just don't get it. And our 3rd row in the middle, clothes that you owned through who became famous.
Holy shnikes. Wow. 4. That's our max, right? That's the
most we've had because we had 3. We had 3 for 13th year with 3 hosts. Year, right. And so this year we have 4 for the 10th episode.
Ah! Wow. That's really, really, really cool.
Thanks for going on this journey with us, guys.
You got us here. And last week we said we'll get bingo again.
And then we just made up for the last 2 times. Oh, very fun. I can't believe that. We did it. Yay.
Wow. You did
G-I-N-U-S.
I don't know why you want to spell it G-I.
Guinness. Great. So to finish off this lovely Guinness episode, we always end with a game, and so this week we are going to see how much of a Guinness balance by playing the game of Are You Smarter Than an 8th Grader?
Great game idea.
Thank you. It's not 5th, it's 8th this week because our friend Charlie Boyle was in 8th grade. I Googled Are you smarter than an 8th grader? And this is what popped up. Now, there's a specific website that created this quiz. I have previously taken it. I got an 8 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
So I don't doubt you. I'm just not smart. In a math way, because it was a math question. Okay, Val?
I'm not very good at math, so.
So I'm going to ask you, it's 1 through 10, and you can take as long as you need, and then you can, and then.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah.
The magic of editing.
Yeah. Okay. Take as long as you need, and then they are multiple choice. So, and then at the very end, I want you to guess what website this is. Who created this quiz, because it's very funny.
Okay. Is it LeVar Burton?
No. That'd be better. All right. So question one. Who wrote the poems Annabel Lee and The Raven? Ralph Waldo Emerson, Nathaniel Hawthorne, Edgar Allan Poe, or Robert Frost?
Edgar Allan Poe.
And you are correct. Which literary term means a story illustrating a moral lesson? Parable, allegory, myth, anecdote.
I think it's parable.
Incorrect.
Is it allegory? Yeah, that was my second
right.
choice.
Which of the following is not an example of onomatopoeia? Boom, sizzle, meow, sense.
Sense?
Correct.
Okay.
It's spelled C-E-N-T-S, like sense.
Oh, okay.
Where was the first Continental Congress held? Washington, D.C., Boston, Philadelphia, Richmond, Virginia.
Philadelphia.
Correct.
I only know that because of Hamilton.
That was the one. That's why I guessed it. All right. Another Hamilton question. Who was the third president of the United States?
Jefferson.
Correct. Oh, wait. I didn't even give you multiple choice for Thomas Jefferson, and you knew. I would have been like, read me some names, girl.
Well, I just know, not just from Hamilton, but also thanks to Hamilton, that it was Washington, Adams, and Jefferson.
All right. Great. What American woman aided wounded soldiers on the battlefield during the Civil War? Clara Barton, Dolly Madison, Betsy Ross, Florence Nightingale.
What was the first one again?
Clara Barton.
I think it's Florence Nightingale.
It was
But
Clara,
it might be Clara
Barton.
Barton. Damn it. So Florence Nightingale, I think, was like a British nurse.
All right, here we go. Here's the math. Gwen wants to rent a truck for one day. She contacted 2 companies. Scott's Truck Rentals charges a flat $20 plus $2 per mile.
Okay.
Big Haul Truck Rentals charges $3 per mile. After how many miles will the total cost for both companies be the same?
Like exactly the same?
How many miles? So these are your answers. We have 10, 15, 20, and 25. Miles.
Oh, miles.
10 miles, 15 miles, 20 miles.
20.
Guys, she answered that in 4.5 seconds. You got it right.
Oh, if only I had answered it that quickly.
The people don't know.
My dad's a mathematician. He took all the math in the genes. He kept it for himself.
Yeah, that's okay. Not all of us can be a beautiful mind.
Good reference.
I've never seen it. Okay, so let's go to the next question, which is the Earth's water cycle is powered by wind, sun, radioactive decay, or the energy of the Earth's rotation?
I'm going to guess it's D.
Energy of the Earth's rotation.
Yeah.
It is the sun.
Oh, interesting.
And how do you calculate the area of a triangle? Base times height, pi times radius squared, base times height divided by 2, base times height divided by 3.
Base times height divided by 2.
She's a geometry genius. Genus.
Guys.
All right, last question. What do you call the distance around a circle? Circumference, radius, perimeter, boundary.
circumference.
Correct. Get our results. You got 70%.
So you did better than I did. Who's the guyness now?
I'm the guyness now. Yeah, I did get 8. I got the math question wrong, and then I got the earth question wrong. I guessed wind. Great job. Thanks for playing, Val. Let us know how you did in the Instagram comments if you got 10 out of 10 or if you got 0 out of 10. All right, now, Val, I want you to guess what website I found this list off of. It's AARP. Created that. All right, well, Val, thanks for joining me today on this Tuesday.
Thanks. I didn't know I was gonna have to use my brain.
Yeah, that's what happens when you're talking science, baby.
Well, this was super fun.
Yeah.
Fun movie, fun times. Fun 4 times the bingo.
Oh, I forgot that happened. Yes.
It happened like 2 minutes ago.
This is why I have to write things down, Val. I forget. Thank you so much, as always, for joining us. We hope that you love us as much as we love you. Remember to tell your friends about us. That's honestly most important. That's what we're going to focus on this week. Tell your friends about us. Any Disney friends?
Yep. Tell one friend.
That's your goal.
If everybody tells one friend, you've done your job this week.
We love you.
We do. We love you very much. And I love you, Allie.
I love you, Vallie. Bye, Val.
Bye, Al. This podcast was produced by me.
And me.
And it was edited by me.
The music was composed by Michael McNally.
You can find us online at thetridentnetwork.com/dcommentaries-pod.
Find us on Instagram and TikTok at dcommentaries.
D-Commentaries is a part of the Trident Network. To learn more about our videos, live shows, and other podcasts, please visit thetridentnetwork.com.
Disney Channel original movies.
Damn it, Allie.